Praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Akah, Kodash, and double honors to my elders, apostles of the great millstone, and the single honors to all the other apostles of the great millstone and like-minded camps, brothers, and elders of the other like-minded camps, preaching, teaching this word of truth and sincerity as always. In this lesson here, I just wanted to go ahead and touch on. Oh, I saw this video here. I was interested. Oh, but I gotta show this video here. This video caught my eyes. It's very spiritual. So the guy you see in the front, he thought he was gonna win the race, but Jake was actually in the back, man, and actually defeated Esau here.
What a dramatic end to the Delaware Marathon, proving, it ain't over till it's over. Joshua Jackson is the man in the black shirt sprinting there. The leader really didn't turn his head to see Jackson gaining.
And I think the word, and his name is Joshua Jackson. The name Jackson was, I think, Kazak brought it out from Mississippi. Elder Kazak brought that out, how Jackson goes back to son of Jacob. Okay, no, man. So my Google is, this Jackson means son of Jacob. Yeah, son of Jack. Yeah, it means son of Jack. And it says Jack can be derived from the old French name Jacques, which is French form of Jacob. In Hebrew, Jacob, Yaquab, means planter or holder of the heel. Some early medieval records even show variations like Jake's son or Jake's son as patronymic forms for son of Jacob. And when you go into the history, they called around the era of King James, they called that the Jacobean era. King James knew he was of the stock of Jacob, a good stock. He was of a good stock. So when you go into this here,
Well, it's over.
Man, Jacob. I just reminded me, I was spiritual too. I had to say that because it reminded me of Esau versus Jacob right here. Esau really thought in spiritual, this was a spiritual Omen, Nomen, because as you see in the video here,
Joshua Jackson is the man in the black shirt sprinting there. The leader really didn't turn his head to see Jackson gaining all the way to the tape. The Pottstown, PA native officially won by 2 seconds. What a dramatic end to the Delaware Marathon, proving, it ain't over till it's over. Joshua Jackson is the man in the black shirt sprinting there. The leader really didn't turn his head to see Jackson gaining all the way to the tape. The Pottstown, PA native officially won by 2 seconds. What a dramatic end to the Delaware Marathon, proving, it ain't over till it's over. Joshua Jackson is the man in the black shirt sprint.
yeah, man, Esau was doing that weak ass run, man. Jacob kept running through that, man. That's the spirit of you Israelites, man. You Jakes, man.
There, the leader really didn't turn his head to see Jackson gaining all the way to the tape. The Pottstown, PA native officially won by 2 seconds. What a...
just Jake for you, man. Jake doesn't want. Jake they ain't trying to. Jake ain't gonna let Esau win, man. Jake ain't gonna let Esau win. That's what. Fuck you, bro. Yeah, man. Jake ain't gonna let Esau win any of that, man. And this reminded me of 6 and 9 here. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And when you get this in the GNT, the brothers from Florida brought this to my knowledge. GNT hits harder when you get to verse 10 in 2 6 and 9. For Esau represents the end of this age, and Jacob represents the beginning of the new age. Look at that, the true new world order, new age. So if Jacob's hand is the beginning, and Jacob there represents, it's not just the literal man there, but it represents he represented at his time that all of Israel, just like Eve represented all of Israel. When the Lord gave that one because this is going into that prophecy of how these two nations would be against one another. And we believe, as we always say too, we believe through the Spirit. Now, we don't know this for sure, but we speculate that Jacob is Abel, who got murdered by his brother, man. Yeah, Esau did that. So, and Esau was really the firstborn when you going back to the video here, man. The firstborn.
What a dramatic end to the Delaware Marathon, proving, it ain't over till it's over. Joshua Jackson is the man in the black shirt sprinting there. The leader...
Once again, his name is Joshua Jackson, man. Son of Jack.
Really didn't turn his head to see Jackson gaining all the way to the tape. Pottstown, PA native officially...
So, yeah, Jack. It ain't over till it's... As the woman said there, it ain't over till... It's over,
all the way
man.
to the tape. Pottstown, PA native official... Joshua Jackson is the man in the black shirt sprinting. What a dramatic end to the Delaware Marathon, proving, it ain't over till it's over.
It ain't over till it's over, man, and it's not over. Because this is a metaphor for... Because this is really a metaphor for... where we're in right now prophetically, man. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So right now, like you saw in the video, it looked like Esau had the head start. It looked like Esau had the head start. He had the win. It looked like he was going for the win, but Jacob defeated. Yeah, he got proud and got slack. But it's just like us now. But just like the Lord, man, He's gonna bring our Shah to come and sweep this devil under the rug. Like that slick ass wind. This brother here, Jacob, won against this Edomite here in this race. Look at that. That man, you got Jake laughing too. So yeah, man, Jake, second Andrew 6. Since so if Jacob's hand is the beginning and Esau's heel is the end. And when you go into the hand, it represents a metaphor for power too. And Jacob's hand came out first, out of instead of his head. When you go into Esau's body, his head came out first, and then Jacob's hand came out first, though, grabbing Esau's heel, representing power over Edom. Do not try to find a space in between. And then you got Genesis 4 here. Genesis the 4th chapter. Okay. Genesis 4 and verse. No. Genesis 4 and verse. Okay, this is Genesis 4, 4th chapter, and this is verse. If for some reason I can't find it, I could have sworn it was in the 4th chapter. This is Genesis 3 and verse 15. This is the Lord talking to Job the prophet. If you can perceive it, we already know that that's what it is. He was talking to the woman and the serpent. And that's what he said that would happen between them. The woman here was Eve, represented all of Israel. This was in a prophetic context, and I will put enmity in a symbolic. It was symbolic of the prophecy put in place today. The internal prophecy of this war is these two nations will have, and it says, "And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. And it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel." So basically, he said that Eve's child she was gonna have, which was an Israelite, this was happened to be Abel, who was already murdered at that. I would be murdered right after this. Her son Abel, and then this Edomite. The serpent here wasn't Cain, or he could have been Cain, but they were the same. They were both Edomites. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Notice the head and the heel mentioned right there. And then you go to Genesis 25, and I don't know how you Christians can overlook this, because that's something, man. For the Lord to say that his hand and his heel, and then you get later on, and another generation happens to be born of this other Eve, black woman, aka a black woman Eve, giving birth to two children who was at enmity with one another, And then shortly after that, they grow up, and they're at enmity with one another once again. Esau hated Jacob because the blessing that he stole from him, right? We use the word stole loosely. It's really he gave it to Jacob, the Israelites. The Israelites. From the tribe of Judah down to Issachar, northern tribes, man, and southern. This is Genesis 25 and 22. And the children struggled together within her. She had twins, and she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?" And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And the Yahweh said unto her, "Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels." Now, when you separate two things, that means they're not in one. They're on their own walks. They're both on their own separate walks. They got their separate challenges at separate times, separate emotions. It says, "And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger." They weren't gonna be in agreement. They weren't gonna be in agreement on jumping down to 25. And the first came out red all over like in every garment, and they called his name Esau. No. First came out red. Who has red skin? Esau does. So just like the brother speculates, and I speculate as well. Like I'm in agreement with the brother. When we get to the kingdom, we might just the Israelites that are more up to the paler or browner skin, you may just turn more dark. And the brother speculates that. Brought that to my knowledge, and I believe the brother, man. Just going back to that carbon and that the whole deep explanation the brother was giving out about that, about how basically black is the color of power. That's why your hair is black, even if you northern tribes. If you don't have that cursed blonde hair, then you got the black hair, and the black hair represents power, man. It's really a blessing. And just going off of how Judah's a prominently black race. Like when you look at someone that's black is really like a scary color, man. It's the color. That's the color the Grim Reaper, the Grim Reaper wears, man. But yeah, man, because that's the color of power. It truly is, man. I wouldn't mind getting all the way dark skin, having all that dark skin when I get to the kingdom, man. I wouldn't mind having that. I wouldn't mind if that is the case. I might still be in my own tribe, but I wouldn't mind having all that darker skin, man. Not even the light skin, man. That actual dark skin, man. And after that came out his brother, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she buried him. Yeah, this was through his woman Rebecca. Yep, and then later on, Jacob would marry his own woman, who was Rachel. And then he would end up meeting Esau again, and Jacob got scared. Jacob got scared and took his family all the way in the back. When you go into it, Jacob wasn't no Even though Jacob, when you go into it, just showing you how brave Jacob was. He went all the way to the front, even though he was scared of Esau when he was gonna meet him again. He went all the way to the front. He even bowed down to Esau. He bowed to Esau and gave him gifts, but Esau didn't give him any gifts, man. It says right here, Esau ran to meet Jacob, embraced him, and kissed him, and they both wept. Yeah, and I found it spiritual that Jacob gave Esau a gift, but Esau really didn't give him any gift. So I just found that also when I first read that as well. I thought that was when I first read that the second time with now when I had this knowledge, I found that very spiritual that Esau didn't give him any gifts because just showing you how really Esau ain't as he isn't as friendly and thoughtful as Jacob, the Israelites are, man. But I mean that was really the point. I was wanting to show the video and ultimately really just correlate Genesis 25. I mean Genesis 3 and Genesis 25 with each other, and also get Second Ezra 6 and 9, and just correlate those with one another. And the video once again, the dude's name was Jake Jackson, which Jackson translates to son of the Jack, and Jack is the short French word form of saying Jacob in the Hebrew Yaakov. And right there in that video, Jacob Jackson there, Joshua Jackson there, only just won by 2 seconds. 2 seconds. How clutch the Lord is to come through for his people. The Lord comes, as the scriptures say, we shall be saved by the skin and by our teeth. So how someone just showing how somebody elect in that when Yahweh returns, they're going to be saved through just in the last second when it looks like they're really they're really just about to get fail. The Lord's going to come through that last second, but it's going to be just perfect timing. So hopefully this was edifying. Shalom and the ball.